Hello, and welcome to another episode of Stuck in a Media Shower, the podcast that takes you on a journey to answer those deep and burning cosmic conundrums. I'm your host, BJ6.9, aka Brenton, and we have back with us our co-host, Space Matman. Say hello, Matthew.
Hello, hello.
Yes.
Welcome.
The major mattress himself has been on a little bit of a health hiatus for a couple of weeks. But now he's back, and hopefully better than ever, or at least better than he was before.
Yeah, fair,
Yeah,
very fair.
That's fair. Sorry to dig at you like that, but
That's all right.
it's already happened. Today we'll be discussing some of life's most essential shortcut devices, from life hacks to modern conveniences that you can no longer live without. As always, if anyone listening has any thoughts or ideas on topics you want discussed, make sure to drop us a comment and let us know what's on your mind as you soap up those knees on a late autumn's eve. So, thank you. I made it just for this week because Liam won't let us talk about nipples. Yeah.
That's right.
He won't, conservative bastard. So strap yourselves in as we set off on another misadventure amongst the stars to answer those nagging and sometimes inconvenient shower thoughts. You ready to blast off, Mr. Matman?
As always.
Alright, let us go. Oh no, something's blowing up in the background! Oh, get up!
Did we just eject out?
Yeah, I ejected. Are you still going?
Oh, it's a combined cedar.
Oh.
If you eject out, we eject out.
Oh. Well, sorry, we're both ejected out and we're just floating around space right now. Goodbye,
Oh no,
spaceship.
look. Is that a meteor shower coming?
Like the title of the
Like
podcast.
the title. Yeah, you get it.
I like how you're talking about it many times, just plugging it as many times as you can, just getting it into people's minds so they can't forget it.
Can't forget it.
Yeah, so Matt, you've been away for 2 weeks now. For
Yes.
2 whole podcasts.
I know.
I was quoting that space pirates stole your voice. How did
really?
you manage to get it back?
Well, you see, I had to strike a deal with them, actually.
Yeah.
I had to sell off some of my secrets of the trade
Your
to get my voice back. Yeah, my secrets.
Your podcast secrets?
No, not the podcast secrets, my life
Good.
secrets.
Oh, life secrets.
Yeah.
Anything that you're gonna miss?
Yeah, the fact that when you try and make toasties, you could just butter one side of the bread and stick it on top of another butter side of the bread and then make your sandwich normally and then just plop it on top of the pan without having to try and avoid your hand getting butter all over it when you make it a toasty.
Okay. Is that the only secret you sold?
Yeah, no, they were convinced pretty quickly, actually.
Wow. Look, these pirates, they must be going through some hard times if they're just taking those.
Well, my voice
eggs.
wasn't that much to them. They're just like, just spend some time with us and you can have it back. And I was like, yeah, all right, fair enough.
Aw, Matthew, your voice is a lovely, beautiful siren of the deep. It caresses and warms our hearts.
I was about to say, I feel very. I was like, is that an insult? Like, should I feel attacked by that?
I'm coming onto you right now.
Ah, good.
Yeah.
Good.
But this week we're talking about life hacks and things that you can't live without. And this was brought up by you because you wanted to talk about Afterpay.
Afterpay and ZipPay.
Yeah, can you? I don't use these things.
Yeah.
And like when I used to work in hospitality, people would come into the shop all the time and be like, "Hey, do you do Afterpay?" And I was stumped. I didn't know what the hell they were talking about. Can you explain what the hell Afterpay, ZipPay, Postpay is?
So let's say it's like your off week of pay, right? It's your
Yeah.
off week, you haven't been paid, you got like $200 in your account, but you still have to go for like a grocery shop run. You still have to go put petrol in the car, and you're a little bit worried that you can't go out with mates and stuff.
Yeah.
Afterpay is a very convenient thing because Afterpay lets you pay 1/4 of the original total, and then you pay the rest of it off every fortnight. So you pay the next quarter, next fortnight, next quarter, the next fortnight, next quarter, the next fortnight, and it's fully paid off. But that way you don't have to stress about paying it all in one sitting.
So you're going into debt for fuel.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh
But
no.
ZipPay is sort of the same thing where you can do it as well, but you can pay it off over like 6 months.
Oh no, that sounds awful. That sounds so dangerous.
It's not dangerous. It's just convenience because whenever you first start getting it, they have like a limit that you first start with. I'm pretty sure after it's like $250.
Okay.
So if you want to go out, you have to be limited first, and then once you pay it off so many times, after the pay is like, yeah, cool, you can be trusted to have a higher limit, which means that let's say that you wanted to get a nice beautiful bed, Brenton, but it's $1,500, and you don't have $1,500 in your pocket right now, but your bed at home just broke, and now it doesn't work properly. Do you want to sleep on the floor? No. You know what you can do? Just pay it on Afterpay, and then you pay Afterpay back every fortnight, and now you have a wonderful new bed.
Uh, I watch a lot of YouTube, right? And
Okay.
there's a lot of ads on YouTube where it's these new apps or services where it lets you access your pay early. That's not what Afterpay is. You're just going into debt. You don't have the money.
You don't have the money, no.
Ah, okay.
But those apps, I think, are suspicious as shit because
Yeah?
what if your paycheck changes every week? Like, it is like a standard paycheck. Like,
Yeah.
how do you like, oh, yeah, no, I worked like 172 hours this week. Can I have my paycheck early? Like,
Yeah. It boggles my mind a little bit too because it's supposed to before, like, if you say you get paid fortnightly
yeah,
and you've already worked 1 week,
yeah,
like your accrued pay is technically there, so that is the pay that they're accessing. But I don't know how they're accessing that information because you as an employee wouldn't have access to that information either.
yeah.
So how the hell are they getting it?
I think it's one of those things where they tell you, like, hey, so what is your hourly pay rate? How many hours have you worked? And then when you get paid, they sort of send you like a bill. I think it's how it works, and then you have to pay that back.
I don't trust it. I don't trust these newfangled things.
Oh yeah, I don't trust that one. Afterpay and ZipPay though, I think are great because it's just a convenience thing.
Yeah,
Just because,
you said you had like 1,100. I've got it in my notes here. $1,100 worth of collectibles that you've paid on Afterpay.
on ZipPay, not Afterpay.
Ah,
ZipPay.
so which one do you use more, ZipPay or Afterpay?
I prefer ZipPay because ZipPay gives you 6 months
Uh-huh.
without any sort of like additional payments on it,
Sure.
and it only requires you to pay a minimum of $40 a month.
Okay. And what are
So
these $1,100 worth of collectibles that you've got
one of
on
them was
ZipPay?
a dark saber lightsaber, which is like has titanium and neopixel lighting in it.
Ah.
So that one it was very expensive. But I got all these like I had all these lay-by, and I was going to pick them up individually at a time. But work was like, hey, look, we have an extra discount this week because everyone's done a good job. And I was like, that will save you some money, but I have to buy it all like now.
Yeah.
So I just paid it all.
And are you still paying that off, or is that all? Is that gone?
That's all been paid off. Yeah, no, that's all
Okay.
been paid off.
Do you currently have
'Cause-
any debts, Matthew?
The only one I have at the moment is I'm paying off my Christmas gift
Oh,
because I got the yeah. Yes, that I bought myself. Thank you very much. It was I got my partner a few gifts for Christmas, but they were a little bit high on the value, and
Uh-huh.
it was a bit awkward in terms of pay weeks. So I just put it all in ZipPay, and I'm currently paying that off.
That's nice. That's nice of you.
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, I don't know that I've ever gone into debt, for a fridge or anything like that.
I don't like the fact that you keep saying debt.
It is debt. Like let's not
Oh, I know.
let's not beat around the
I know
bush.
what it
What you're
I
going
know.
into debt every time you're buying a goddamn lightsaber. Okay, you're voluntarily going to debt, and like, don't get me wrong, that's probably very necessary for some people, but I just think it's such a slippery slope to go down. But if
Isn't that a good way to build credit score, though?
I don't even know how to access my credit score. Like this.
I feel like you have to go to a bank and ask them to do a check, and then they'll probably be like, "Oh, cool, give us like $800," and you're like, "Oh, okay."
Gives $800 to do a credit score. No,
Yeah.
that sounds like a scam.
Some shit like that.
Yeah. Look, the biggest hacks in my life that like I'd use on the everyday. Definitely because the last couple of weeks you've sort of forced me to learn how to edit these goddamn podcasts. Um,
Yeah.
I've gone through about probably three or four different editing softwares.
Yep.
Because each of them would they wouldn't tell you that it was a demo version until you tried to save the goddamn project.
Yeah.
So
And they'll
that
be like,
happened.
oh, buy it, or here's a massive watermark.
Yeah, look, I if it just came out right at the beginning and said that, I'd have no problem. But the fact that it waited right until I finished editing it and figured out how to use it, and got to a point where I was at least satisfied, not happy, but satisfied with what I had, and then it was like, oh, you need the full version to save your project. I was pissed. That happened three separate times, and until I finally got DaVinci Resolve on my laptop,
Yep.
and the process of downloading DaVinci Resolve, don't even get me started on that bullshit because I nearly punched a hole through my laptop just trying to download it. It took about 2 hours to download because apparently I already had a version of it on my laptop, and every time I went to download the updated version, it was like, oh, there's already an old version on your laptop. Please get rid of that first. And I could not figure out how to get rid of that old thing because I couldn't find it. Um,
Oh.
you are so far off in the distance. Are you okay?
All right. Yeah. No. No. I'm here. I'm here. Don't you worry. Don't you
Alright.
worry.
But yeah, the whole Control V thing, that
Yeah.
is that is a goddamn lifesaver. If that
Oh,
if
really?
that you're so far away in my
No.
headphone.
What do you mean? Sorry.
God damn.
I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back.
God, we're not gonna up these views if the sound quality's incredible.
I just don't want to cough directly into the mic and have it spike. Okay.
Fine. But anyway, Control V, the
Yep.
undo
Yep.
button, automatic
Yep.
undo. Oh,
Yep.
so good. So good. If I could have that, if I could have like a life version of a Control V, oh man, I think I'd be living sweet, you know?
You'd be living sweet.
I'd be
I
living
like that.
sweet. Um, yeah. Are there any things that other than zip pay and afterpay? Are there any sort of like things that you use on a probably day to day basis, shortcuts or life hacks or anything that you just can't go back from now that you've been spoiled by them?
If it isn't like, I wouldn't call it like life hacks per se, but
Sure.
like it's one of those things of like, I feel like there's a lot of things we do on a day to day basis that could be considered a life hack
Hmm.
if we didn't have certain technology.
Okay.
Um, like I have an air fryer, which I think is the best thing ever because I can
And
just shove shit in that and just
right.
call it a day. Yeah, no, I feel fancy as shit when I have to say this sort of stuff. Um, but there's other things like even our phone itself would be considered a life hack just because of how much convenience it gives you.
Yeah.
Honestly, with the amount of like open technology that we have right now, I guess everything could be considered a life hack.
I mean, sure, but like, are there any things that like you? I'd say a phone is moved from that basic like
Mm.
convenience to almost a necessity in today's life. So the
Yeah.
things that I want to know are the things that not everyone needs, but you specifically, if you had to give this up, your life would fall and crumble to pieces pretty much instantaneously.
Something that I literally put my life on
Yeah,
every
you
day.
can't live without. It's not necessary, but you can't live without it.
I, I have one of those fancy, weird, special coffee makers that come with the pods that you put in
Ah,
and close over to make coffee,
yeah.
and then one of the milk things that you put in to make hot milk. That I would probably not live without. I can't have normal coffee anymore.
Is it a proper steaming wand, or is it one of those like frothing devices with the little like spinny thing down the
Yeah,
bottom?
it's one of the frothing ones with the spin.
Nice, with a little Beyblade down the bottom.
Yeah, and it just whips up your milk, and then you literally put your pot in, smack it over, and it pops out like the perfect amount of coffee. You put in your 1 teaspoon of sugar, put your milk in, and then you got a perfect brew of coffee.
Mm.
But I remember having my mum coming over, and she looked at it, and I was like, "What's that?" I'm like, "That's my coffee machine." She's like, "That's not coffee. That's horrendous. That's what that is." And I felt so offended
Is your
by
mum
that.
still one of those people with like the press coffee machines?
No,
Like
no,
those
my
boiled
mom's one of
ones?
those things like it's like instant coffee, shoves it into like the coffee mug, pours hot water, and she's like, "Yeah, this is good coffee."
No, that's
That's the shit.
dirty.
Yeah, she's one of those people, and I'm like, "What the
Oh,
fuck?"
she's a dirty person.
I don't understand. People who live like that, I feel like have suffered.
Are continuing to suffer every day.
They are dealing with some problems that they need to talk about.
Um, you've got Netflix and stuff like that, yeah? Or
Yes.
or apps on your phone or apps on the internet where you click on it and it auto
Yep.
logs you in.
Yeah.
Are you one of
Yeah.
those? Are you one of those people that has a one of those like password things where it keeps track of your passwords, or are you just auto logged in all the time and whenever you're accidentally logged out, you freak out because you
No.
can't remember your password?
I'm one of those persons that has like I had one main password, and then as an adult, I'm like, I should get other passwords. So I now
Yeah,
have like 6 passwords, but I forget which password goes to which place.
sure.
So I'm one of those people that like when I get logged out, I like, is it this one? No. 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 And when all 6 fail, that's when I panic.
Where do you keep
You know
track
what I
of
mean?
these 6 passwords? I'm asking because for a friend, of
I
course.
don't. I don't. It's not written down anywhere. That's the problem.
God damn it!
So if I die, it's gone.
I wanted to steal your information, Matt.
No, I think the only thing I have is like with banking nowadays, you have to have like an authentication app on your phone to access some of your banking every now and then.
Yeah.
I do have that, but I wouldn't call that a life hack or something that would change my life.
No, not two-factor authentication.
Yeah, but I'm
Um,
not one of the person that keeps myself logged into everything.
okay.
I manually self log myself in to remember those passwords.
Yeah, I do those on important things like my email or banking accounts or anything where information is anything.
Important information.
Yeah, anything that I'm logged into that uses my main email address, like my business email address, I
Yeah,
log
yeah,
out of
yeah.
that crap. But I also
Yeah.
have a second email address that is my
It's
pretty much my
garbage.
spam that I use to
Yeah,
log into shit like
I feel like
Facebook.
actually speaking of that, I feel like everyone in life should have that. One is a business email that you want to put towards things that you want to see, and a spam email that's like, oh, we just want an email account to associate you with. You just
Yeah,
give them that dumb shit, and you never look at it ever.
absolutely. Sometimes
Yeah.
I make the mistake of logging into that email address and I just have 500 like
1,000
disgusting.
emails, and you're
Yeah,
like, oh.
and every single one of them is disgusting. Like I don't dare click on them because I'm fairly sure it's gonna steal everything that it can.
Oh, that's funny.
Um, is there anything in life that you wish that you could like? We're talking about like life hacks and shortcuts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you wish you could do like the old fashioned long way?
The old fashioned long way.
Is there anything like that you can't that growing up in this technology focused shortcut bougie lives that we live in these days, is there anything
Yep.
that you wish you could like do the traditional way, like churn butter?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I thought was always really interesting, which this might sound dumb, is that the people who can go with like just the pan and go down a river and sift for gold. Because I feel like I did it, I would be useless. I think I would have zero skills. I would have no idea what I'm looking for, no idea whatsoever. Because now they have the massive like rigs that they just dig through for that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
It sounds very like weird and like precise, but I would love to know how they actually find gold through the pan properly.
I don't know that process is particularly complex. I think the complexity behind that is how do they know where to look? Because I think they're just going into the water and sifting that thing back and forth. When you're straining spaghetti. I don't know that there's any big brain ideas that are coming when they're shaking that thing.
Brenton, if I learn how to sift gold properly, let's go to a river and I'll see you just strain it out furiously like a spaghetti, trying to just get all the water out to see if there's gold. Well, I do this gentle technique of me trying to actually find gold. While you're just like throwing your pan about trying to get gold out of the water. And we'll see who's really done it then, alright?
Look, if you get to the point where you've learned how to sift gold properly and you're not using any, background knowledge on where to look and you're like, look, this 5 by 5 meter area here definitely has gold, and the only thing that's separating us is your magic ability to use a sifter better than I can. I will gladly take that bet any day, my friend.
Good. All right. I'll put some time and effort into that then.
You better, because you've admitted it on the podcast now. You can't go back.
But I think like treading butter, I think it isn't like a unique skill. You just put a stick into a hole and you just shove it around. Like
Oh,
that's
see, you're treading on some dangerous ground here, my friend. I think churning that butter. Of course, you can just stick it in the hole and churn that crap around and probably get a result eventually. But
yeah.
I think there definitely is a technique there where if you have a master butter maker and you have the exact sort of like churning motion and like the revs per minute that you're trying to go, and you're dipping that stick at just the right frequency, you're gonna make better butter than somebody who's just going ham. And I also feel like this churning butter metaphor is getting a little bit dirty, so we should probably move away from it.
Yeah, well, then here's an awkward skill. You know how like what would you say we use nowadays to cut glass? Like, what do you think we just put it in a machine, ask for what we want, or put in the dimensions and then cut it, right?
To cut glass.
Yeah, cut glass.
See, I've never seen somebody cut like raw glass before. I've always seen them like heat it up and like slice it in like a machine or something like that. I've never seen somebody cut it.
I've seen a documentary where they go to like a glass cutter. Like this is back in I think in the like 70s or 80s. And what they do is that they put like a specific line through the glass of the tool, put a ruler underneath it, and then just smash it with their hand, and it breaks. And the person in the documentary is like, if you and I try this, this would break into a million pieces. But because he's doing it, it works. I would love to know how he does it.
What, is he like karate chopping the glass?
Yeah, legit. Just puts a ruler underneath it, smacks the glass, and it breaks. Like, it snaps in the perfect cut that he pre-made.
That sounds like some phony baloney.
That sounds
stuff.
that sounds like some dangerous business. That's what that sounds like.
That does sound like some dangerous business. Like, what if they got it in their wrist or something?
I don't know, but he does it and it's magic, and I want to know how.
You want to learn how to cut glass with your hand?
Yeah.
Okay.
Smack a glass pane once, and it just cuts perfectly. It's just shattering to a million pieces.
Cuts perfectly into the shape of your face. Just with one strike.
One strike, and it's a perfect cut out of my face. Smack that in the museum.
See, I'm not fancy. I'm not a fancy guy like you. I don't want to learn to sift gold. I don't want to learn to cut glass with my hand. You know what I want to learn to do? I want to learn how to tie a goddamn knot. Because
wait, what?
To tie a knot, not like tie your shoe, but like tie a knot that actually is functional, and in like securing stuff like a tent or a boat or like a pig's legs together or something. Because whenever I watch those like how to tie this knot thing, even how to tie a tie, the whole process just boggles my mind, because it's never like they're always flourishing with their hands, and what they're saying is not what their hands are doing, and it pisses me off. And like I just feel so useless whenever anybody, like Liam the other day when we were moving offices.
Yeah.
He was strapping down stuff in the back of the ute, and he wasn't tying knots, any fancy knots or anything, but just the process of him strapping down stuff in the back of the ute, I was like mind boggled, because I'm just not capable.
All right, question: have you ever like tied a tie before?
I've tried. It never looks good.
I could do the simple one where it's just put in a tie, pump down it, and it's done. But it's in a really bad condition. But the special like 3 like perfect knot thing that they do, I have seen so many videos and I've done it so many times, but I can never remember how to do it or know how to do it properly without watching someone else do it.
Yeah,
I following it at a slowed sort of version.
Yeah, I can't even do it like watching somebody. Usually what I do is I'll ask if I'm out or something, I'll get somebody to tie it for me, and then when I'm taking it off, I won't
Yeah.
undo it all the way, and I'll just hang it on. I've got
You keep it there forever.
Yep, I've got 3 of them, and every time one of them undoes, I'm devastated.
That is your life hack right there. A pre-tied tie.
A pre-tied tie. It's better than a clip-on
Better than a clip-on.
because it's actually tied, sort of.
Well, we're starting to hit the end of our podcast here.
Yes.
So everyone that's actually out there, let us know what your life hack is.
Yeah.
If you have anything that's unique or something special that you do that makes your life just a little bit easier every day.
Yeah. Share the knowledge, because, I don't know much.
We're struggling to our day-to-day life basis.
We are struggling.
But for the question of the week next week, Brenton.
Yes, next week. We're going to talk about flower power. So the idea that, I just love the idea that, like, you know that old stuff where, like, people were, like, attaching nodes and stuff to plants and understanding if they had feelings and stuff?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm so down for that, and that's what I'm going to be researching all week. Is can plants talk, and how can we listen?
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Do you want to sign us off?
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you everyone for being here. I appreciate it, and I know that my co-hosts appreciate you all being here.
Damn right.
We'll be glad to hear what you have. If you have any comments or any queries or any questions you want us to answer, please leave a comment or message us or let us know, and we'll probably gladly talk about it for next week's podcast.
A future one.
A future one, yeah.
Yeah. What's
But
the
for
name
now,
of the podcast? What's the name of the podcast? Plug it again.
we're stuck in a media shower. I was
Damn
getting
right,
to
man.
it, all right?
Yeah, we're stuck in a
I was
media
getting
shower.
to it.
Yeah, love it.
Because we're stuck here without a spaceship because you ejected us out.
Well, sometimes life gives you lemons and you got to make lemonade.
You didn't get anything, though. You just hit... Whatever.
Whatever, man.
Well, we're floating off into deep space and we need to sign off. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I appreciate you. Be safe, have fun, don't die.
Yeah.
And we'll catch you all later.
Catch us.
See you guys. Bye.